Okay, hello again, everyone. Welcome to the ACCA webinar. I hope you're all enjoying this festival season. This is our favorite season of the year as well. Thank you so much for taking out the time to join this webinar. I really hope that you'll be able to find the answers to all your queries. Today's webinar is not going to be a very PPT-driven webinar. We're going to have a lot of live Q&As. We have our senior leadership with us. We're going to take up your queries and answer them. So my request to you all would be that you can see a Q&A option on the Zoom webinar. You can keep on writing your questions there, and we will take it up once we're over with the PPT, and then we will have like a discussion with the leadership on their thoughts about ACCA scope, job opportunities, everything. And I really hope that it will be a useful session for you all. So before we move on, let me quickly run you through the agenda of today. We're going to know about GT Bharat, our firm, our proudest moment, when we introduce ourselves as working in GT Bharat. The accounting firm, why an accounting firm came into the academy role, background of ACCA, a little bit touch base on background of ACCA. Most importantly, what is the scope of ACCA? What are the job opportunities available in this field? Is ACCA worth it? Multiple questions we'll be taking up. And in the end, we'll be, of course, having a Q&A session. So as mentioned, please keep on writing all your questions in the Q&A box. Before we move on, let me quickly introduce you today to the speakers of today's session. We have Mr. Pradeep Pandey, who is the strongest pillar of our L&D Academy. He's an MBA Finance, and he leads all our strategic initiatives and ensures perfection at every step of our academy. He's been involved in setting up the Learning and Development Academy at GT Bharat. We have Mr. Jatin Kalra, who is an ACCA member and a director at GT Bharat. He has experience of over 13 years in total and has worked with some of the most dynamic businesses in India. He has been involved with financial accounting processes, setting up of accounting advisory services, accounting process automation, accounting transaction advisory, complex transactions, and so on. Then we have Mr. Kapil Arora, who is also an ACCA member and a director at GT Bharat. He has 14 years of experience in the L&D space. He has developed multiple courses for various accounting programs and is an active speaker for IFRS. He's trained more than 12,000 professionals and more than 7,000 students. Next, we have Ms. Jyoti Gupta, who is an integral part of our student facilitation team. She has over 15 years of experience working in the field of student counseling. She is a one-stop solution for all our student queries, from registration to the ACCA portal to getting the best resources to all our students. She does it all. Finally, introducing myself, I am Muskan Khanna. I'm also an ACCA member. I am a manager at GT Bharat and a member of the L&D Academy team. I've worked in the past for over 8 years in the audit and assurance space with 3 of the big fours. And I'm an ACCA advocate and a mentor to aspiring students. I hope that this session is very, very useful to you all. And thank you to our speakers for taking out the time for this webinar. Now handing it over to Pradeep and Jatin to talk about GT Bharat as an organization.
So good evening, everyone. As a Grand Thornton, as Muskan mentioned, that we are a very truly global organization, and in India we have almost we have offices in 13 major cities, as what we call ourselves as a local field global team, right? So we are spread out across globally in more than 130 countries, and with 750 offices with 62,000 people, which makes us very truly essential. And what we offer a lot of diverse solutions for all stages of the business's life cycles, be it supporting expansion plans of the organizations, be it strategic ambitions or managing risk. And our expertise lies in audit, risk, CFO services, global deliveries, digital transformation services. So as an organization, we recognize ourselves as a truly a global scale, and the deep technical capabilities across extensive industries, and with a lot of expertise and with such a large base of people across globally, this makes us a very differential organizations when we are coming to training services or L&D or training services for the ACCs particularly. Right? So I would request Jatin also to just add on about Grant Thornton, what we do.
Yes, thanks, Pradeep. So, like you rightly mentioned, Grant Thornton, of course, is one of the oldest accounting firms in the world. We are truly global. Plus, we are one of the only five full service firms who are currently existing in India. By full service, we mean, of course, we service all the different things from ranging from auditing, accounting, advisory, and advisory also everything from M&A advisory to tech advisory to funding needs. So wherever essentially clients have needs, we have teams to service them. Yeah, so being a global firm though, we have local practices in each of the countries. So for example, in India, we are one of the biggest firms that truly works with Indian businesses, and in that sense are localized to Indian laws, Indian regulations, Indian requirements, and have been there since pre-independence era, in fact.
That's great to know. Another question that a lot of our participants have is that why did an accounting firm like ours enter into the L&D space? So if you could enlighten us about this.
No, so essentially, I myself have undertaken the journey of becoming a professional accountant. And to be successful in this space, you need a combination of theoretical and practical knowledge. What I have always looked for, in mentors and tutors and lecturers has been people who have seen both sides of the picture. They know the theoretical stuff and have also applied it in practice, because ultimately that's what we are getting trained for. In that sense, having someone like Grant Thornton do it obviously enables all of that knowledge which is accumulated by thousands of employees working in real life on the best and the most dynamic businesses in India, getting that knowledge also along with, of course, the subject matter expertise. I think that combination makes it even better, and prepares participants or prepares whoever is the student at that time for the life ahead in a much better manner.
Thank you. I think that's the absolutely perfect answer on why accounting firm got into this. But again, Pradeep, would you have any thoughts on this? Because like I mentioned, you were one of the founding members of the academy. So how difficult was this journey?
So, Muskan, it was not at all a difficult journey, because as I mentioned, we were already servicing a lot of audit or risk clients on upskilling their employees, because right. And there the thoughts came up, let's start a separate academy where we would have a dedicated resources, would be designing the program as per the industry requirement of the programs which are helping the professionals and the students as well, which will help them in the professional journey, right? So in the last 5 years, we have almost trained more than 13,000 participants across the programs. Apart from ACCA programs, we have professional programs like USCPA. We have multiple programs on IFRS, financial reporting, data analytics, compliances programs. We have a program on GST. Right. So these all programs are helping the people, and the feedback, the people has rated us almost 4.5 out of the 5 ratings in the last 5 years. This is the average rating which was shared, right? And the delivery which we do is primarily basis the it can be classroom, it is online live. With the current situation, it is primarily online live, and we are also giving the self-learning option to the students as well, right, which has been developed in the last 2 years. All the training, all the this academic journey is very extensive, and we have there was a lot of learning which we have which is helping us to keep on improving the skills or improving the content for the students which we are doing. And all these as these programs, all programs are assessment based programs, intense assessment based program, so that the students who are pursuing any of the program, they get a better ROI, right, post their programs. If they are sitting in any of the let's say for the professional examination, for the ACCA we are talking, if they are going for the interviews in any of the organization, or if they're coming to GT itself to appear for the interviews, they are able to crack those interviews. That is the level of commitment we as at L&D Academy, we are designing the content. And these programs, we are not only in this public space or public workshops, we are helping a lot of universities also to develop their curriculum based the current requirement of the industry, so that we can bridge the gap of the industry academia which is there also.
Great, great. Thank you so much, Pradeep. And now I would love to invite Jyoti, and she can explain us about how she also explains students about this ACCA journey, and the various routes to enter the ACCA journey, because a lot of students still have doubts about ACCA, how many exams, how do I enter ACCA? So over to you, Jyoti.
Jyoti, you're in mute.
Hi, Muskan. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. So first, I would like to walk through the journey of ACCA of 3 years. Basically, in ACCA, total will be 13 papers, right? So 13 papers, and 13 papers are divided into 3 parts, three steps. You can say that you have to clear first step, then second step, then third step. And once you will qualify all these 13 papers, right, then you have to go with the ethics and professional skill module. Then you have to go with this one paper through ACCA, which you can apply after your 13 exam. Then after completion of your 13 exam, you have to go with PER. PR means practical experience they have required for the relevant field. Because in ACCA, this is mandatory to go with 36 months of internship. If you are already working in a relevant field, that will be exempted in ACCA. So total 13 papers will be there in ACCA, right? So hope this is clear to everyone. I will explain you the different steps, different stages of ACCA, like in the second slide, right? 13 papers divided into 3 levels. What are the 3 levels? First level is applied knowledge level, where the student has to give 3 papers, right? And second level is applied skill level, where total 6 papers are there. And third level is professional level, where 4 papers are there. So there will be total 3 steps, 3 levels in ACCA, which the user has to complete one by one. And once they will complete all, because hota kya in 13 papers ke baad they can apply for BSc Applied Accounting from Oxford University. It means when the user will complete their 9 papers, they can go with this degree of BSc from Oxford University. But sometimes what will happen, the student is already getting exemption in 9 papers. So it means he is not eligible for this BSc degree from Oxford. There is some certain criteria for ACCA where you have to complete at least some papers of skill level. Sometimes what will happen in these 3 levels, as per the qualification of the student will get some exemption. So, जो student who is completed at least 3 to 4 papers of knowledge or skill level, only they can appear for this degree of Oxford, right? And after completion of these 13 papers, you can apply for MSc degree. That is directly from ACCA website. So these are the three levels which you have to do one by one in ACCA. Now moving to the next slide, where I can explain you, because we are getting many queries for the exemption. Like total there will be 13 papers, but as per the qualification of the student, ACCA will provide some exemptions to them. First thing is that total journey of ACCA will take 3 years to complete it, right? But as per the qualification, you will get some exemption. So according to that, the time will be reduced. The duration of the course will be reduced. Like, for example, if you are a 12th student, if you have already completed your 12th standard, then you are eligible for all the 13 papers of ACCA. And the duration will be approx 3 years. And suppose if you're coming through any commerce background, like if suppose you have done BCom and MCom, then you will be provided by exemption in 4 papers, first 4 papers of ACCA. Then the duration will be reduced to 2 years. And as different qualification के हिसाब से ACCA will provide some exemption. Now coming back to inter CA means the student who has already completed their IPCC classes, sorry, IPCC groups. If the student is already qualified BCom plus IPCC, both groups are clear, then he will be provided by exemption in 6 papers. It means only 7 papers he has to go with. And the duration will again reduce to 2 years. Because, why 2 years? Because ACCA exam will held 4 times in a year, every quarter, March, June, September and December. And we always recommend go with 1 paper in 1 quarter so that they can easily clear it. That's why the duration is 3 years. Now that is up to you how you will take this forward now. Now coming back to 4th level, which is CA final level. Suppose you have given the exam, whether you have attempted any CA final group in the past, but you are not able to clear it. But if in specific subject, if you secure more than 40 marks, so ACCA will provide exemption in those paper also. For example, if you are already a BCom qualified, plus IPCC, both groups are clear, so you will get exemption in 6 papers for sure. But in CA final, suppose that the group is not clear, but if you have got 40 marks in PM, that is performance management of second group, financial reporting and financial management of first group, if you secured 40 plus marks, so that paper will get exempted in ACCA. It means you will get exemption in 9 papers out of 13. It means first level, knowledge level, where 3 papers are there, that is already exempted to a student. Second, where skill papers, that is second level is skill level, where 6 papers are there, that is already exempted. It means you have to complete only 4 papers and you can easily clear the 4 papers within the duration of 1 year. Last is most important, CA qualified. We are getting so many queries like how many total exemption a CA will get. So CA or CMA will get exemption in 9 papers. Whether you are a CA, whether you are a CMA, so you will get exemption in first level and second level, total 9 papers. And you have to appear only in 4 papers, which you can easily complete within 6 months. Hope this is clear to everyone, right?
Thank you so much, Jyoti. Thank you so much for sharing the basic information. I think that everybody asks, how many papers do I have to give? What is this journey composed of? So thank you so much for explaining it very well. I have a question for Jatin now. Basically, I want to understand about your journey. And I think a lot of our participants would like to know your journey. You've become a director in Grant Thornton. So I would I would ask you to explain your entire journey. And I also want you to answer one question for me. Have you been ever asked that what is ACCA? So because I get that question a lot. So I would love for someone else to answer that.
Yes. So currently, of course, we are close to completing 2022. I became an ACCA member in 2011 and I started on this journey in 2008. So, 15 years back when I did start on this, towards this qualification, things were quite different. I think night and day difference. At that time, of course, there were very limited number of ACCA members. Mostly people who had done ACCA in the UK, who had come back, who were Indians and have come back and working in India, were the members who were there. And however, considering my connects, there were certain people who I knew were ACCA members and were working abroad. I looked up about this course, spoke to a few people, and then I started doing this. And I can say with full, confidence that, it has been a completely enriching journey. So one thing where it helped is, being a global qualification. The first job which I entered in KPMG was where they were looking for people who had knowledge about global accounting standards, and that perspective was there. So it really helped me get my first job. And since then, of course, spending some time in KPMG and then moving to Grant Thornton, I have been able to utilize the skills of the knowledge essentially which I gained at the time of doing the qualification, to enable to provide world-class services to our clients, which of course is where our objective lies. The question, what is ACCA, is something which was very commonly asked at some point. But today, I think it's been some time that I've heard this question. Now, especially when you talk about in the industry, when you talk about companies or any of the large or mid-tier firms, everyone knows about ACCA, to a good extent. There are, of course, a lot more students now. There are a lot more members, and even ACCA in India has a lot of activities which they do, which provide support to people who are students and members alike. So I myself am a member of the ACCA Members Council. So there is a 4-member council that ACCA has, which works with them on the different initiatives. So I very closely work with the association on some of those activities as well. And what I can say is that, of course, the awareness is quite high. It's not really there in tier 2 and tier 3 cities, I'll say, but definitely in tier 1 cities, in the larger industrial hubs or corporate hubs, the awareness about ACCA is, of course, very much there.
And what about your belief about the entire qualification? Do you think that it can take us to heights?
Yeah. I mean, to be very frank, ultimately qualification is to give you a start, be it ACCA, be it CPA, be it Indian CA. All of these qualifications are essentially to get you started in, this profile. Of course, as ACCA members, we don't sign on audit reports here. But then there's a relatively smaller population of CAs also who are signing audit reports. The universe of things which a professional accountant, a qualified professional accountant does in India is much wider. And for that, of course, to be very honest, it's experience which takes you forward, but qualification which gives you the jump start. And for that, of course, ACCA is very much there.
And on that thought, I would love for you to explain that what are the different profiles that an ACCA can take up. Like you explained that, a chartered accountant is also doing the similar roles, because I know as an ACCA, when I started with my journey and, being a mentor to so many students, I get this asked way too much that, the vague question is, what is the scope of ACCA? And a specific question is, can I do this profile also after ACCA? So how would you explain that?
Yeah, so to be very frank, the curriculum, or rather the subjects which we study in ACCA, is quite similar to other like CPA in US, CA in India. All of them cover the same just subjects, and what they enable is the baseline knowledge on a range of different things. So one, of course, is accounting standards and auditing standards, which would help you in the core traditional profiles. But now more and more, we get trained on stuff like performance management, budgeting, things of that sort. Then also, financial management, how to help in terms of investing activities, treasury functions, and then on compliance and controls, which is useful for an internal audit profile. You also get some knowledge about laws and regulations. You get some knowledge about how taxation works. So all of these are different profiles, and of course, you have the baseline knowledge then to start working towards any of them. I, for example, started off doing core technical accounting advisory because being an ACC member at that time, I was good in IFRS and very few people were in India. And from there, of course, I've developed into some more ancillary, skills. For example, data analytics, for example, finance transformation, where automation plays a role. Also things around process optimization and all. So all of these things, of course, as you get more experience, you keep on learning. But ultimately speaking, there's definitely, I would say, 100+ roles, to be very honest, where an ACC member can work. You can do stuff around, data analytics. You can do stuff around, tech-related, finance function-related role. You can get a industry-specific specialization, for example, insurance, financial services, and financial services. Like it's mentioned here, credit control manager. You can have credit analyst. You can have internal audit expert. So there's decent amount of work which is there. Plus another thing which in India, of course, is growing quite rapidly in the professional services space is people here working for international clients. With COVID and all, of course, virtual working and working from anywhere, all of that thing has taken a massive push. Which means that markets like India, where we have people who are talented and also, the cost advantage is there. They're getting a lot of opportunities to work across borders. So yeah, I mean, last couple of years in particular has been really good from a growth perspective on opportunities.
Thank you so much. That actually answers all the questions so perfectly. That all the kinds of opportunities, because I know that there are so many students who want to know about this. That what are the particular roles? Can I do this role? Can I get into forensic auditing? Can I get into internal auditing? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. There's no particular qualification stopping you to get into that. So it provides you with a perfect start. And on that note, I want Kapil to give his inputs and also inform us about how GT as an approved employer helps the students in their journey, and what is an approved employer also.
Thanks, Muskan, and good evening, everyone. Before I jump onto this, I would like to ask question to Jatin. Probably, I'll ask him to talk about it later or anytime, whenever he feels right time to talk about it, because Jatin has spoken regarding his journey, that how he started his career and become director in Grant Thornton. We have seen that Jatin was talking about that there are opportunities where companies or people are supporting global clients from India. In fact, I have seen that Jatin himself has been providing services to Indian clients as well as global clients sitting from India itself. So Jatin, only one thing, as an employer, because now you are a director and you take people who work with you, right? And like, what exactly do you see as an ACCA? What qualities or what they should bring in, right? So that they become more relevant. Relevant for the kind of job we are looking for. Second, that how they can grow in the system, because we have seen your growth, right? If you can enlighten on that, what qualities can bring or can actually help somebody to move their career into certain directions.
Yeah. So what I'll mention here is that while doing the qualification, whatever perspective that you can gain on how these are implemented in practice, I think that is where things are going to be helpful. So for example, let's say you have cleared your exams, but you have absolutely no perspective of how things actually work. When we're talking about, for example, a financial reporting kind of a role, you should be aware about what, real life financial statements look like. what the typical process is of creating financial statements. How does things move from a journal entry to a financial statement? So there are some practical things which should, it's always helpful if you have knowledge about that also. So while doing ACCA, of course, if you can build connects where you have mentors, or maybe from your tutors, or from your, whichever way you are doing ACCA, if you can get all of those knowledge also, it's going to be helpful. There's of course 3 years of practical experience also, which is necessary. Trying to do it in the manner which is going to be helpful for your long-term aspirations, again, is something which is good to do. That just helps you differentiate from other people who are there, because while of course growth is there, and then there's a lot of opportunities which are available, but I'm sure everyone would want to get those premier opportunities, the top 5% of opportunities. And how do you differentiate from the crowd and be eligible for the best of the best in terms of roles, is where I think some effort could be done. Building on ancillary skills like tech related awareness, other data science related awareness, building on other, getting a foreign language, all of these things also help. But I think it's all about having a practical perspective in addition to just the qualification, where I think you can gain an edge.
Thanks a lot, Jatin. I think this is very relevant point for everybody. So those who look for an opportunity in any big firm, right? So can always see that what exactly would be the expectation from someone like Jatin, or maybe any other senior person who wants to hire anyone in their team. So on that perspective, I'll just say that what Jatin has mentioned, that along with tech, along with other knowledge which one should gain, someone should always have, because ACCA is a global qualification, and being in India, you would be serving some Indian clients also, right? You may have the accounting standard understanding, accounting standard knowledge, but at the same time, you should have the understanding on what is happening in, let's say, the local companies act, or local tax regulation like GST, or local income taxes. That brings more value. So on that aspect, I would say that GT is we are providing training, but at the same time, we are the approved ACCA employer as well. Means we are hiring ACCA for full-time roles, as well as for the internship purpose as well. We are the firm, we are the one who are hiring ACCAs for our audit role also, right? So there are a lot many ACCA trainees who are actually currently working in our audit profile. Though the idea is not that they are going to sign the audit reports, but they are supporting the partners to look at that how accounting standard has been prepared, how companies are actually preparing their financials, whether they are doing all the accounting stuff in a right manner or not. So all these stuff has been taken care by these trainees. What value a trainee can get when they are working with the approved employer, because Jatin was mentioning about that someone has to complete 3 years practical experience also to become a member, right? So if you are working with the approved employer, ACCA approved employer, then what happens is that you are not required to file that practical experience report separately. However, the same thing which you can just share your experience that you are working with that particular employer, and employer confirms that you are part of the team, then you directly become eligible for membership. You don't have to file any kind of report for that purpose, right? So that's something is there when we are talking about the approved employer. Now talking about that, how GT as well as ACCA is supporting you for the opportunities, what kind of opportunities you can get in the market. So of course, when we are doing this ACCA program through GT, GT is definitely supporting all the students to get the internship or to find the relevant job. But at the same time, ACCA is also doing effort from their side. They have the job portal, right, where they keep ACCA career portal, where they keep posting all the jobs which are coming from all the big firms, all the international firms, and they like all the students to register with their job portal, and then so that everybody can have the access to what kind of opportunities which are available, particularly or exclusively to ACCA students. So that ACCA is doing. Apart from the, I would say, apart from the portal, they are also having some job fairs, right? So virtual job fairs, which they keep doing every quarter or regularly, right? So that's where they bring in lot many students together on the portal, right? All the students together and all the employers there to find out that how employers and students can come into a same platform, where the opportunity sharing becomes much easier, right? So that's something ACCA is doing on their part. As I mentioned, that GT is also trying on GT's part also, that how at GT we can support our students to get the relevant opportunity.
Thank you so much, Kapil, for sharing these insights. Before I move on to the next slide, the number of questions are increasing every minute. The participants are asking too many questions. So just on that note, I would ask you to explain that, the common question is that after CA, is it worth to do ACCA? So, I mean, what would be your thought around it? And, if Jatin could also pitch in, as we being in this firm, we face this question a lot, and also how is it impactful?
So Muskan, I think so you are ACCA, Jatin is ACCA, and myself being ACCA, I can definitely say that ACCA brings good value to someone's career. And after doing CA, right, one, that there is a big motivation for CA, any chartered accountant, to go for the ACCA, that they are getting 9 exemptions, so they don't have to go through the entire journey of 13 papers. They are just going to attempt for 4 papers, and then gonna get the same qualification which somebody has to spend 3 years, which they can earn within a year's time, right? So that's something which is there. Plus, ACCA also brings in the value, as we were talking about, that international accounting, international audit standards which are there. So somebody who goes through this will always get additional value. And people who are looking for the opportunity in any international firm, in any international KPOs, or maybe outside India, will always get a upper hand, right, or edge over others, that what value or what value the qualification can bring, because the recognition of ACCA would be much higher in those countries, and they can always get a better proposition as compared to any other qualification. So CA, of course, they are chartered accountant, but adding ACCA will bring in some more additional benefit to them. Here we can just look at some of the benefits for pursuing ACCA. As I was just talking about, that this is a global qualification, so it opens the door for many global opportunities, right? So there are chances that you can go for any other countries, maybe Canada, maybe Middle East, like Dubai, or anywhere else, right? Or Europe, UK, where the recognition of ACCA is much higher, right? You also have the secondment option. Jatin would always agree that people who are working in India, if we have the opportunity like to work for, let's say, Australia, we can always send somebody for the secondment to that person, if we find the relevant qualification and relevant experience, right? Enter management roles. I would say that qualification gives you the start, right? Then whatever you are going to do, it always depends on that the caliber and the learning or the journey which you take from there, right? And all these things will bring in more value, because you have to keep learning, as as everybody was talking about, that new technology is coming in. There are n number of things, n number of opportunities coming in. So you have to, be up to date. You can't just say that I have done something, let's say 5 years back or 10 years back, and I don't want to learn anymore, right? So that is not going to take you anywhere, right? Other than that, there are a lot many international firms working from India, right, where we are catering global clients from India itself, and those opportunities always opens the door for any person who has done any global qualification.
Thank you so much, Kapil, because this was one of the most asked questions that, should I pursue ACCA after CA also? And I know multiple, I am actually aware of many people who I was working with in my previous organization. Even after being a chartered accountant, they did explore global accounting qualifications to, enter into secondment roles, like, accelerate their chances of being selected for a secondment opportunity or getting placed outside, because ACCA is something that is actually recognized in various countries. So I'm a ACCA advocate. On that note, I actually request Jyoti to just explain why somebody should pursue ACCA with GT. What is the benefit of doing it with GT, and what are we providing in terms of ACCA classes?
Now, thank you, Muskan, for this question, because we have so many queries, like what we are providing, how we are providing, and how we are different, why a student should go with GT. So first thing is that what we are providing. We are providing live online classes to our student. And we know like nowadays everyone is working professional, so they will not get sufficient time. So we are conducting live online session only on weekends, Saturday and Sunday, right? With these classes, we are providing recorded also. So in case if someone has missed something, if he want to revise anything, so he can take the help of recorded one. So live plus recorded. And there is no restriction for viewing the recorded session, because our main objective is that the student who is enrolling with Grant Thornton, they should clear also, right? So for the benefit of the student, we are providing live plus recorded classes. Second thing is that with these classes, what material we are providing? We are providing ACC approved content, the study material which we are providing. A student will get 2 books with each subject. They will get 2 books with each subject. One is study material and second is exam kit, right? Third thing is that we are having a ACC qualified faculty. The student who is coming to us for just for the quality of content which we are providing. So we have all ACC qualified faculty with us, right? Apart from this, we always conduct mock tests time to time, right? Mock tests are very important. We do a doubt session also, live online doubt session, where the user, suppose you have already taken the live classes and now you are viewing the recorded session. Suppose if you have any query, how to resolve that? So time to time, we are conducting live online doubt session as well, right? And the most important thing is that if any student is enrolling with us, they will get certain, you can say that they can get discount in exemption fees, because ACC exemption fees is very high. So as per the qualification of the student, they will get the exemption for sure. But they will get the, you can say that huge discount in exemption fees, which we are providing to our student, right? Apart from this, what else we are providing, that student, we are having many queries like we want to enroll, but there is some financial problem. We are not able to provide because we have to pay GT fees and ACC fees as well. So just for the student help only, we are providing no cost EMI option. We are having a tie-up with the finance peer team, where we are providing no cost EMI option to our students, right? So these are the benefits which we are providing. Apart from this, first question was how we are providing, what we are providing, and how we are different. So apart from these, we are providing mentorship plan also. In mentor, because you have studied well, after recorded declare, you have books also. But if you have some specific query, right, related to your career, like your CV or other things, how to apply for the job, so we are having mentorship plan, right? Now Miss Muskan is with us. She's also a mentor for ACCA student. She's ACCA qualified. So we are providing mentorship plan also, where she will guide you how to study, right? Because if you're appearing for online exam, so which things you have to keep in your mind before giving the exam, how to build a strong CV, in which companies you should apply. So she will explain you you can say that she will answer for, she's a one-stop solution for all your queries related to your career. So we are different, that we are providing mentorship plan also along with this classes, offline, online, books, other than that. Right?
Thank you so much, Jyoti. Thank you so much. On that note, I will just request Kapil to quickly talk about the mentorship plan, and then we can jump on to the Q&A, because this is something that I feel that is a very important step. And what is the importance of mentorship, Kapil, according to you? Because I remember when I had joined GT, the first question that you had asked me was that, about a mentorship only. How do you think that we can make a difference in students'
Yes.
journey in ACCA? How do you think that we're making that difference?
Right, Muskan. So I think more or less Jyoti was referring to the same slide, and she was talking about it. The idea of mentorship was to bring the two side of our ACCA program, the learning which we are talking about together. One, that anybody who is coming to us would always want to clear the exam. So when we are getting students, they would be coming maybe just after 12th or doing graduation, or maybe they are working in a they are working professionals basically. So when we have different type of students coming in, right, their need, right, or their learning strategy, learning plan, everything would be different, right? So how they should plan for their studies, how they should go for their studies, everybody has to go or has a different approach, right, when they have to go for it. For that, we thought that when we have different type of students, let's plan a plan. Let's plan something where they can where we can guide them that how to focus on their examination at the same time when they are looking at the examination with the different approach, right? So the objective was that how they can schedule for the upcoming upcoming exams, how they look at these how they can look at these sessions. Basically, if you are a student, whether you are going through the weekday session or if you are a working professional, weekend sessions, how you are going to ask the questions, who is going to answer those questions for you, how you can get support for all those study related needs. The second side of this mentorship plan goes to that what happens after I complete my ACCA program, or what happens when I look for the opportunity while doing the ACCA program. So on the other side is that how you are going to get the opportunity related to ACCA, where we take support from people like Jatin, Pradeep, other people in the firm who are partners, senior partners, that how they can guide students that what they are looking for when they are looking for when they are looking for people to hire in in their team, right? So they talk about that what exactly person or a student should do other than what they are learning in ACCA, right? How they can prepare themselves for the interview, right? What kind of job profiles which can which they can look for, what kind of real expectation they should have from the company in terms of salary, in terms of the work, in terms of the working hours, like how they are going to invest time into it, how they should write the CV. So we have tried to connect this two things in the mentorship plan together so that it benefits everybody whomsoever is coming to learn from us. I hope I have answered this question.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Kapil. And just for reference, anybody who wants to get in touch with our team later on can just take a snip of this slide and get in touch with our team. There are, of course, you can visit our website also and do that. Before we do this now, I really have to get into the questions because there are too many questions in the chat box. So the first question that I take up right now is, just one second. So I've taken the most asked question that, is it worth doing CA after ACCA? That was the most asked question here. And yeah, so this question has been answered. So there is one question. I had a query regarding what are the opportunities available at GT for ACCA members in the front office. For example, auditing role in European countries, Middle East, where we can use our skills such as IFRS and other related areas. Jatin, would you like to take this up?
Yeah. So GT, of course, has offices across the globe. However, each office and each service line, recruits people, and they do recruit ACCAs, but they recruit based on their evaluation process and also, the individuals meeting the visa requirements. Things change when you talk about international opportunities, when you talk about in which countries, the visa laws are more lenient or strict at any particular time. These things evolve. Plus, also shortage of skills, shortage of professionals which are necessary. At certain points there's more shortage, at certain points there are less. COVID, of course, created another variability in the whole thing. So, there are opportunities. GT, of course, hires in those, in all the different countries also. There are several countries where ACCA, of course, is the most dominant association, and of course, people get hired. But then, it differs from country to country, and the individual, if they're looking at any particular country, they'll have to understand, the visa laws, and also it would also be good to get experience which is relevant for that, and of course, apply for jobs in that way.
Okay, thank you. So another question is that how technology is going to change the accounting profession in the near future? Is it a threat or an opportunity? Again, Jatin, or yeah.
So technology, of course, is going to change it in a big way. Earlier we used to have people who are specialists in a different area. So earlier you used to be able to say that, okay, I'm not a tech guy, I'm just a finance guy, I'm just a marketing guy, I'm just a BD guy or whatever. But now tech cannot be removed from that sentence. You'll have to say you are a tech guy in finance. You'll have to say you are a tech guy in marketing, and so on. So that awareness needs to be there. You don't need to be a developer. You don't need to be a person who does it completely, just, that. But that awareness, understanding, perspective needs to be there. And you need to be able to work in projects and processes where tech, of course, is integral to the entire thing. Which means, of course, start off with Excel, be proficient there, and move from there. But of course, the better you are in tech, better your chances are of growth.
Just to add on that, I think technology is definitely an opportunity for ACCA, at least, because sitting from India, we can do a job anywhere. Like, we can cater to the UK market, Canada market, any of these companies. So for us, it's not a threat at all. For us, technology is definitely going to help us.
Absolutely not a threat, sure.
Yeah.
If anything, it's opportunity to, expand horizons beyond whatever the traditional boundaries for a chartered accountant, go beyond that. And in that way, of course, you can add more value, you can be more successful. So it's of course, opportunity from that sense at an individual level. And secondly, of course, technology eases it reduces the boundaries which we earlier used to have of being able to work across states and countries. So in that sense, also it enables much more potential.
Okay.
So if
thank you so much.
It's threat for those who are not ready to, get adapted for all the changes which are happening around us, and of course, as opportunities for everybody else. So those who are learning about that, how technology is impacting, day in, day out, way how we are doing our work, right? So for them, it's of course an opportunity, because technology is going to stay, right? It's not gonna like, it is forever, right? So and it is evolving, right? It's keep on changing as well. Yeah.
Thank you, Kapil, and thank you, Jatin. Then the next question that is very commonly asked is, can we reach the top level management after ACCA? Pradeep, if you could throw some light on that. You get a lot of
Definitely, thank you, Muskan. Yes, we definitely get a lot of CVs, and in fact, you can see there are 3 people sitting in this as a speaker as well, who are the ACCA qualified: Kapil, Muskan, and Jatin. So it is totally whosoever think that they can reach to the toppest level of the organization. Yes, you can reach basis your what you have learned in your qualification as a qualification, and what experience you are getting in that in your period of your professional services, right? So there is no chance. Even if we say we accept lot of CVs, we are recruiting a lot of ACCS people. In fact, we are recruiting people who are undergoing training and with AC, as an ACCA student, right? So we are providing internship. So there are all immense opportunities within as an ACCA professional, and people are recruiting, and we are also recruiting, and top level you can definitely reach.
Thank you so much, Pradeep. Then there is a question. Dropping CA at final stage and doing ACCA, is it worth it?
So I think this question is very tricky, right? It's totally upon the right. It's totally upon the person's perception, right? So we never say that whether ACCA is superior or ACCA is superior, right? Both qualifications are both regards. We as a professional services firm, we recruit a lot of ACCAs, and we have lot of we are established. We can say our backbone is the CAs are our backbone, in fact, right? As a Grant Thornton, I will say. So it's totally upon you that which professionals as a qualification you want to pursue, basis your limits, basis your previous experiences, and what do you perceive from yourself, whether you will be able to clear the examination in the coming days or the coming years. And what I feel that since you're in the final years, you can definitely touch out with Jyoti and with our sales team. They can help you with the multiple options, where a lot of exemptions are also being provided to the students on the final stage of the ACCA as well, right? So definitely you can just reach out to us, and we can give more clarification and queries on that as well to you.
So another question, Pradeep and Jatin, I think you have to take it. How does one get a job in GT? I just clicked on answer live to that question. So how can a person apply for a job in GT?
I think Jatin can better give reply to it, because he's the one who is helping the students to have the internships and the opportunities in the GT, in fact.
Yeah,
Jatin.
no, GT of course is growing rapidly. We actively hire. Follow the social media. We have LinkedIn. We have other portals where our openings go. I think our website also has a portal on which one can check out the current openings. In the openings you'll see job description, which would give you a very good indication of what we are looking for. Try to see if you can prepare yourself for questions around those. And of course, I mean, for us, GT in India, we do not have any, anything like, we need to have people who are CAs only, or ACCAs only, or CPAs only. We interview people across associations, and depending on how the interviews go, what level of experience, what level of knowledge or aptitude the individual candidate shows, we hire. But certainly we hire, close to 600, 700, 800 people in a year. So it happens quite a lot. So keep a track on that, and may take some time and effort, but I'm sure there are more than enough opportunities.
Thank you so much. There's one question, prior qualified experience from the industries, is it accepted? So I think, Kapil, what they're trying to ask here is that about the practical experience requirement, is it accepted or not accepted in the industry?
So, so ACCA is very flexible in that sense, right? So ACCA says that, when you are, so practical experience requirement is not that you should do it just after completing your qualification. It is like you can complete after qualification, during qualification, in fact, the pre-qualification also. So thing is that you must have the relevant experience. That is what ACCA is asking for. And that is what the requirement is, right? If you are coming up and if you are coming with the relevant experience and showcase that you have already worked on those areas, I'll just give you the example that chartered accountant who are already coming with pre-experience, right? And now doing ACCA where they have to do four exams. So they already have the relevant experience, which they have already, gained so much of knowledge, practical exposure and everything. So for them, that is an acceptable thing.
Okay, thank you. What is the advantage of doing ACCA after becoming a CA if you are under internal audit? So if one of us take it.
We have already answered this question. Yeah. I think technically it's same thing which we were talking about earlier.
Okay, then there's a question from Veer who has asked this multiple times, that can we become a investment banker after ACCA? Is there a limit on any role that we can take up, Kapil?
There is no. I won't say that there is a limit to it.
Yeah.
However, for every kind of profession, you would have to have the knowledge of that domain also. For example, for investment banking, you need to learn. There are a lot many other things other than just the accounting or let's say financial management, right? So you can always choose the role, but at the same time, you have to prepare yourself that what additional would be required to get into the investment banking role. Right. So maybe certain skill set like valuation, financial modeling, or let's say any investment banking certification which needs to be done. Right. Most of the people go for CFAs, before get into this. So those become the relevant qualification for investment banking. Of course, we have seen people after chartered accountant also goes into that role, or let's say after MBAs also goes into that role. But yes, you need to have the relevant skill set for that particular, profession as well.
So there's another question that I'm a chartered accountant. How can I register for ACCA and what could be the estimated budget? So I think you can get in touch with our team and you'll get a proper detailed answer to this. How to register for ACCA. So everything from start to end, I just shared a contact us slide. So there are contact numbers of our team and then you can contact them and they'll give you proper explanation of what the budget could be and how you can enroll for the course. There's another question that which course offers high pay or CA or ACCA in India? Which is not a direct question or...
Right. So Muskan, I think there is no, as a Grant Thornton, we don't differentiate between CAs and ACCA particularly, right? And all the packages, everything are similar to both for all the ACCAs and CPAs primarily, right? So we don't differentiate, but yes, the packages, if I say, it totally depends upon at which level you are joining, for what profile you are joining. There are multiple variances are there for any job salary, for the salaries and the so it will be very difficult to say yes or no, but yes, as a Grant Thornton, we don't differentiate between ACCAs and CAs.
Pradeep, there's another question, similar question. Please consider my doubt. I'm a chartered accountant. How can I register for ACCA and what could be the estimated budget?
So that's
answered live.
Yes. So I think you can definitely reach out to our team, Jyoti and Pratik. They will help you with the best of the exemptions, what we can available. And because since there are a lot of people on this as a joiner webinar, I just want to make one small point, because exemption fees is one of the important thing which in the market people are playing with it. So at the Grant Thornton, we are very transparent and clear what should be the exemption fees, right? So please reach out to our team, get a clear resolve on the fees, and as an organization, we will give the best of the services and the fees and the lowest fees applicable to the students here. You can reach out to Jyoti and Pratik in fact for that.
I can answer, like being a CA, like you cannot register in ACCA portal directly. Why so? Because there is some additional benefit which GT is providing to chartered accountants. So I request you ki if you are having any doubt related to the fees, the exemption, how to enroll in ACCA portal, so you have my number also on the website, so you can call me directly. Right? I will explain you what is the benefit you will get being a CA for ACCA.
Thank you so much. So all of these questions that are remaining are actually a lot related to very specific queries, for which I will request you all to reach out to our team, like, how to register, how to get that degree of Oxford Brookes, how many exemptions are required. All of these questions can be answered on a case-to-case basis and in a better way on a one-on-one call. So I'll request you to reach out to Jyoti. And thank you so much to all the speakers for taking out the time for all of us and answering the questions of all the students. I hope it was a very useful session. Thank you again, Kapil, Pradeep, Jatin, Jyoti, for taking out the time for these students.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you so much,
Muskan.
Muskan.
Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you everyone.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.